Toyota, which was founded by Kiichiro Toyota in 1937, is currently headquartered in Toyota City, Aichi, Japan. Toyota is a Japanese automotive company that produces and sells automobile, industrial vehicles, and also provides financial services from car insurance and credit cards to car loans. Currently, they have over 364,000 workers worldwide. The number is still growing today. It is also the sixth biggest organization on the planet by income as of September 2018. We all know Toyota as a car brand, but they also have other brands as well, such as Hino, Lexus, Vans, and Daihatsu. Even though they're known for their automotive production as a company, Toyota also has other segments of their business. This includes the design, manufacturing and sale of housing, telecommunications, and other business ventures. Toyota is also known for its just-in-time manufacturing system. This system was pioneered by the company and aims at reducing times within production systems as well as response times from suppliers and customers. It was pioneered in the 1960s and 1970s, and many businesses today try to emulate their practices. So here we see Toyota's manufacturing and coordination plant locations across the globe. The major markets for Toyota or its automobiles are Japan, North America, Europe, and Asia. And as far as the manufacturing facilities go, the major locations for these are Japan, United States, Canada, United Kingdom, France, Turkey, Thailand, China, Taiwan, India, Indonesia, South Africa, Australia, Argentina, and Brazil. And I could keep listing because they have a major presence worldwide. And this is a benefit to them because they have many manufacturing facilities that they can pull from. So Toyota doesn't have a manufacturing plant in Oregon, but it does have a logistics facility. This facility is referred to as Toyota Logistics Services Incorporated and is a $40 million auto import and processing plant at the Port of Portland. This facility replaced the car manufacturing company's old facility at the port in 2004. They updated it and made it extremely efficient with state-of-the-art equipment, and it also was made to minimize the impacts to both the environment and its surrounding communities. This plant will process and test more than 175,000 imported and domestically built Toyota, Lexus, and Scion vehicles annually throughout the facility. After these vehicles are processed and tested, they're distributed to the states throughout the country, including Oregon and Washington. Most of the vehicles are moved out of the facility by train.
Concerning inventory control, Toyota utilizes the just-in-time method, otherwise called lean assembling, and once in a while alluded to as the Toyota production system. Toyota began utilizing just-in-time stock controls during the 70s and took over 15 years to perfect its procedure. This procedure works so well that it has since been adopted by other companies to increase efficiency. Toyota sends off requests to buy creation parts just when it gets new requests from clients. Toyota and just-in-time assembling will prevail as long as the organization keeps up in an unfaltering generation rate. With top-notch workmanship and no machine breakdowns at the plant that could slow down creation, this generation rate is feasible. Also, it needs dependable providers that can generally convey parts rapidly and the capacity to productively amass machines that set up together its vehicles. If any of these fail, there's a very high chance that a disruption will occur in the supply chain and shut down the entire process. Recommendations suggest that developing a dynamic scheduling framework is needed in just-in-time manufacturing, with factors to be considered including actual production cycle time by process, machine, tooling, material delivery, and labor status.
Looking at the graph on the left side, we can see that as the holding cost rises, the order cost decreases. And this is because the more items that you're holding in inventory, the more costs you have associated with keeping them there. And the more items that you have in your inventory, the lower the order cost goes because the less items you have to order. Where they intersect, it kind of makes an X, and this is where we want to be, because that's where both costs together are the lowest. And up to the top, you can take a look at the total cost, which initially starts very high, but then has a steep drop off. And the just-in-time manufacturing system aims to put all the costs at equilibrium in the middle here, where they're all the most beneficial for the company. Taking a look at the graph to the right, we can see how growth and news about how great just-in-time production has spread over the years. Each year, there may be a little bit of variance in the number of articles or research studies done on this production, but over time, it has grown to be something that is sought after, and it still continues to grow today. Although this system is great, there are a couple of key issues. For example, the shipping. It can be hard on the shipping. Trucks and trains and other shipping methods need to be waiting ready to go to ship inventory. If there aren't enough shipping options available, this can cause delays in the supply chain. Warehouses can also be vulnerable to supply and price shocks due to the just-in-time way of doing things. For example, an influx of orders can come through, which puts a lot of stress on the supply chain, especially on the supplier side. One week there may be a few orders, and one week there could be hundreds. If forecasted correctly, it's not much of an issue. As for the price shocks go, prices fluctuate, and from the supplier's point of view, if there's a time with a ton of orders and the prices are up, Toyota may wind up paying more than they had planned for their inventory. Finally, it can also be difficult for the workers. They need to process everything just in time, which means in and out as fast as possible. This can be challenging and stressful when there are different amounts that need to come in and out as fast as you can at any week in the month or year. So finally, we come to some recommendations that we have for the company in order to help solve some of the issues that they have. First is to dynamic a scheduling framework with the factors to be considered, which include the actual production cycle time by process, machine, tooling, material delivery, and labor status. In order to strategically reduce the costs, a cost breakdown analysis is needed to determine what costs are reduced and or eliminated. Based on this, suggestions will be proposed on how to reduce and eliminate accordingly. They also need to take a look at the 5 why analysis for any issues that they have. So basically, instead of asking why just once, it's repeated and repeated and repeated again, usually up to 5 times, in order to find the actual root cause of the problem. They also